Hi Flosstube! Welcome to this video. My name is Anna and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Sunday, July 5th. I hope everyone in the US had a happy and healthy Independence Day yesterday. My husband and I had a pretty quiet day at home. We did some yard work and played some board games and just generally relaxed. We put on some music in the evening to sort of drown out all of the fireworks. Because our dogs both have a real problem with that. But otherwise, it was a pretty quiet day for us here. I'm disappointed that I wasn't able to go back to Kansas to spend time with family, but that's the way it is. You know, given the current situation, that was the best choice, so we just stayed at home. On Friday, we did go hiking just to try to beat the weekend crowds, so that was nice to get out to the mountains. Sorry, I just noticed that Sybil, my cat, is back here cleaning herself, so hopefully she is not too much of a distraction for everyone. She's kind of she's kind of a big kitty. She's fluffy. She's got a lot of fluff. Yeah, you can see my sewing machine back there. I've been making masks. That was one of the things that I did yesterday. And I'm gonna try to finish up some more this afternoon, so my sewing machine is still out. And you may have noticed that I'm in a different room. We're still in this same house that we've been renting, but my husband and I split up our offices so that we could have a little more space since we're both working from home full time. So now this room is packed with furniture for both my office and the guest room and my work table for sewing and things. So it's a little crowded, but it's nice to have my own space, I guess. Yeah, what else? It's been a couple months since my last update, and there has been a lot has happened. I'm not going to talk about any of the multiple crises that are happening in this country and the world. I am informed, I have an opinion, and I think that YouTube can be a great way to have people talk about some of the issues that are happening, but I feel like I just need a break, and that's what cross stitch is for me, and that's what Flosstube is for me, so I'm just not gonna talk a whole lot about it. I'm just gonna try to focus on the cross stitch today. So today I'm going to be talking about what happened over Maynia. I did record a video at the end of May, but it did not make it to the internet. I was having some software issues. This time it was not user error, it was actually the software that had a glitch that hopefully has been fixed. But it made it so that I could not edit that video. And as I was watching it back to see whether I could post it unedited, I just realized that it wasn't a good video. It was disorganized and I was talking really, really fast. I was stressed, and I wanted to get that video in because I knew I'd be busy in June. So it just didn't happen. So now I have 2 months of things to show you. After Maynia plans, I will talk about some of the other works in progress I worked on for June. I have notes this time, so I'm not gonna forget anything or freak out about it. Just gonna try to, like I said, take a break from all the stress and just kind of have like a relaxing 30 minutes here. So we'll see if I can do that. After talking about my other whips, I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans for July, and then I would like to do a giveaway. And then after that, I would like to talk about my planner. So if you're just here for the cross stitch, I'll say goodbye then. But if you are looking for a new planner or you just like seeing what's out there, I would love to share my planner with you guys. So that is the plan. Let's just get started. I'm gonna record this hoping that I can edit, but in case I can't, I'm just gonna try to give you as much information here as I can in case I can't insert pictures or whatever. Okay, so for Maynia, I did my own sort of mini Maynia. The idea of starting 15 or 20 new projects was just too much for me. So I chose one project and then I started 20 parts throughout May. So I worked on the Prairie Schooler, a Prairie year 1 and 2, and I just chose 20 of these. So I'll show them to you quickly. Hopefully I can insert pictures because some of them I only got, like 1 or 2 stitches in. So you're not going to be able to tell what it is without me inserting pictures. So let's just get started. So on the 1st of May, I started with January, and I just had 1 of these. Let's see, over here, I guess. So that was January. And then February, I chose 2. March. This one was lots of fun. Hopefully I can insert pictures here so you can see what that's supposed to be. The lion was a lot of fun though. So that was March. And so then that was the first 5 days of Maynia. And then here we have April. And you can't really tell, but this is going to be a duck and this is going to be a rabbit. So those were fun. And then here we have May. And you can see this one's a lot further along than some of the others. What I decided to do for Maynia, for May, was to set aside about 30 minutes every day. I ended up doing 30 minutes every morning, just to make sure I could get 1 or 2 threads in for each of these projects for Maynia. But then that kind of got me into the habit of stitching in the morning, which I think is a good thing for me. I'm not watching the news or anything like that. I'm watching Flosstube or just listening to music in the morning with my coffee. And so after Maynia wrapped up on the 21st, I kept stitching every morning. And so I made a lot more progress on this one for May. And then in June, I did the same thing and I finished this one, which is exciting because now I'm looking for a frame. I think I'm looking for a 4x4 frame, square, or a 5x5 with a 1-inch mat or something that I can cut myself. I have not been to any of the big box stores. I made a donation at a thrift store once and I just popped inside to see if they had a frame and they didn't, so I didn't look anywhere else. I just got out of there. Wearing a mask, of course, because that's what Coloradans have been doing for months now, and it's helping. She's cleaning herself. So yeah, I'm excited to finish this one for June, and this was just the only one for June because I only chose 20, so 4 got left out. So then in July, so I started these in May in order, but then so far in July, these first few days, I've worked more on this one because it is the month of July. And I'm going to keep doing that. Yeah, so if I somehow finish this in July, I'll start working on the second one for July. And maybe by Maynia next year, I'll be able to finish these up if they're not already done. And then here's August, which I can't even tell which side is the front because of how I stitched it. So, this way. Here's August. This one is going to be a beehive with some bees around it, and the bees that were charted I thought were a little funky, so I took some time to refigure that out, and that's why this one didn't have very much progress. This one, I can't remember which day of May we're at now, but I don't know what happened here. This is a watermelon. And there are my 2 stitches on it. And the thread is still, yeah. So looking forward to working on those in August. Here's the one for September. I chose to leave out, I'm not doing the schoolhouse, but I am doing this basket of apples as my September one. All right, last quarter. So this is for October. I don't know. This is going to be a pumpkin. I am leaving out the month that has a witch on it, just because it's not my favorite. I like witches, I like Halloween, but that particular one is not quite calling to me. So the pumpkin for October. November has a turkey and this cornucopia. So those had a pretty good start. And then in December, I've decided to do both Santas. I I don't know which way this one goes. I'll figure it out once I pull out the pattern again. So yeah, that was it for Maynia, and I'm really happy I did it that way for a couple reasons. One, I'm still glad that I did not start 20 new projects. I'm glad I did this the mini Maynia style. And then the other reason I liked it a lot is I kind of just needed to reset my routine. We had been working from home for a couple months when Maynia started, or like a month and a half strictly working from home. And I just had never really settled into a daily routine. I was getting things done, but I felt like I was just kind of drifting from thing to thing with my work and with household chores and my hobbies. So I started several years ago when I started working remotely. I found a daily planner that I love and works great for me. And then when we moved back here and I started working at the office again, I stopped using it. And so for May, I decided to get it back out and set aside time to do Maynia. And I'm so glad I did that because it really just reset my routine. And I'm still using my planner and I'm still stitching every morning for the most part, mostly during the week. On the weekends, I don't always stitch in the morning. But it just kind of restarted my routine. So I'm really happy I participated. I will try to participate again next year, but it will probably be the same sort of mini Maynia format. So yeah, that is it for Maynia. So I'm really happy with it. All right. So actually, before Maynia started, since my last update, there were several days in April still. So before starting on Maynia, I pulled out kind of a weird one for the season, but I pulled out Halloween banner sampler. This is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, and there's a glare. I'm not stitching this side of it. I'm sort of making it not as wide. So I pulled this one out before Maynia started, and I just put a couple thread lengths in it, but the lengths were of the black pearl cotton, which I'm using one strand of, so it went pretty far compared with other colors. So here it is. If I can insert pictures, I'll try to put one to the side, but I'm not counting on it. So yeah, I worked up here and I worked on the spider. The spider needed a little bit of alterations. There's several aspects of this pattern that I've altered just slightly because they didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like here, I don't know if you'll be able to see this spider. He's got 6 legs, and then he's got like 2 antennas coming out of his head. That's not a spider. So I just moved the legs around, but it took a little more finagling than I thought it would. So I moved the legs from the head and moved them down and kind of squished the rest of them closer together. So hopefully now we'll have an 8-legged spider. And yeah, like I said, I'm using the pearl cotton, which is much thicker, but doing just, it makes it go a lot faster. It feels like with the 1 strand of pearl cotton instead of 2 strands of DMC, like I'm using on the other colors. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I love how vibrant the color is, or the color of the fabric is. And I'm looking forward to using the other half of this piece on another Halloween project, which I will probably start in October if nothing usurps it. We'll see what comes up. I might find something I prefer. Anyway, so that was the Halloween banner sampler. And then I worked a little bit on my Heaven and Earth full coverage project. It's mini birdsong. The designer is Tatiana Federova. And this is where I got to. I put in a couple more lengths over here in this sky. I'm slowly building up this corner because this whole page is almost entirely the same color blue throughout. And then up here I'm doing this diagonal, and I'm doing this, it's an extra wide diagonal. It's 15 wide instead of my normal 10 wide because the lines were off. I started over here on a partial column, and so the lines have been off, and I'm going to take the opportunity to even those out so that they're crossing corner to corner through the squares instead of like midway through them. So anyway, that's how far I got. I am still really enjoying it. I chose this pattern because of all the colors, and so far all the columns have been just the same sets of colors, just this green, some sky blue, and these pink berries. But I'm hoping that the next column over will get some more flowers at the bottom. I'm just really happy with it still. It's on 18 count Aida. The more experience I have and the more, I can't even see if you can see it, okay. The more Flosstube I watch, I think that my next big full coverage project I'll try to do on a smaller count, but I still like using 2 strands, so I'm not sure how small I'll go. We'll just have to see. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze in a before picture, but that's where I'm at. I don't know if I'll pull this out in July. I'll talk about that more when I get to my plans for July. All right, what is next? Okay, I also worked on another Prairie schooler, and I worked on it a lot more than I planned to, which is great because plans are more of just guidelines. So this is Birds and Berries. It's in the plastic. Sorry, I've been trying to insert pictures, so I just don't want to count on it today. So here's the set of 4. I have the same fabric for all 4 ready to go. I have all the floss ready to go, and I've been working on the red-winged blackbird. And I'm not going to say I'm close to a finish because I have a lot to do, but I made a lot of progress on it. It's still in the hoop because I might still work on it this weekend. So here it is. Over here, I guess. I love this. It's a Prairie schooler, so it's sort of big blocks of color, which is great when I'm watching something on TV that I'm kind of partially paying attention to. I'll do something more complicated if I'm by myself listening to music or an audiobook or watching Flosstube, but if I'm downstairs on the couch and we're watching the news or something, then this is a good one to work on. He looks a lot better with a face, and now the wing is coming in. There is an air in here, but I think his wing is just a little longer than it's supposed to be, so I don't think it's actually a mistake. It's just a little different from what the pattern said to do. I'm happy with it. So yeah, this is tons of fun to work on. It's on, let's see, 32 count Belfast in raw natural, and I'm using 2 strands of DMC over 2. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm at a point where I'm starting to think about which bird I want to do next. So hopefully this fall I'll start another one after this one's finished. We'll see. So there's that one. Getting to the bottom of the pile here, which is good. Part of the reason I tried to record a video after Maynia was because I knew I would be really busy in June, and I wasn't sure when I would be able to record this video, and it's already July 5th. A big part of that is that we are in the process of buying a house, which is great, and I'm so grateful and thankful that we're in a position where that's something that we can do right now. We're starting the process of buying the house or looking for houses when Colorado went into lockdown, when we went into our stay-at-home order. So it's really been up in the air about how long are we going to be in this house. You know, the owner here obviously wants to know when we're leaving, and we would like to leave. We don't want to sign another year-long lease in this house when we were so prepared to leave, and it's a great house for someone new. So anyway, June was great. We found a house, we were under contract. We're still just jumping through those hoops that you have to do when you're purchasing a home. So we'll see. I was very taken up with that during June, and I did not get as much stitching as I normally would, I think. So I'm on the last project that I worked on this month, and I'm not sure you'll be able to see a lot of progress because I just worked in the greenery. So this is my Dimensions kit. It's the Winter Cardinals one. Go. All I've done to change this is add a thread of Krynic to the snow, and I changed some of the back stitching on the lady cardinal. But otherwise, it's just kit fabric, kit floss, kit instructions, and there it is. Oops. So, oh gosh. So I really just been working over here and up here. One of these threads is the same color as the fabric, not even joking. So I have been working through here, you just can't totally see it right now. So I'm just working on the greenery on this side underneath that branch, and then I'm going to work under the bird, which is a lot thinner. There's a lot less stuff through there. So I feel like this is coming along, and I think this probably will come out in July. So yeah, that's how far I am on it. This is, like I said, it's the kit fabric. It's on 16 count Dove Gray Ada. Oh gosh. I have a pile over here of just the loose papers. And I keep this in this tote bag that I made, and I'm just probably going to show it every time the Winter Cardinals come out, because I'm so proud of my very first cross stitch and my very first sewing project and my first fully finished cross stitch project. So it's my sunflower bag. And that's it. That's everything that I've worked on in 2 months. And like I said, part of it was Maynia and part of it was looking for a house, so I just didn't have the same downtime. But I am happy with all the progress that I made. So that's my update. My plans for July. Now, I've heard some people talk about Jolly July. I think that's a bit like Maynia, where you start a bunch of new Christmas projects in July. I could be wrong about that, and I think a lot of people are doing like variations on it. I'm not planning to start anything new in July because we might be moving our house. So I'm good with the number of projects I have right now, but that is not a hard and fast rule. I've decided that for July, I'm going to stitch only patriotic and Christmas. It's a loose rule. We'll see what happens. So as far as Christmas projects go, oh, I scared the cat. It's okay. So for patriotic projects, I have none. I have the 2 Prairie Year days that I've started for July. And then I have the eagle that I showed during my stash dive that I might start. I was really hoping to start Salute to Abigail, but I don't have the supplies for it. And I am totally willing to do something other than the called for fabric or floss or both or either, but I'm not there to choose it myself. So I just don't have what I need to start that. So that's kind of sad. But I have those 2 that I could start. Otherwise, I don't really have much patriotic. For Christmas, I've got a couple of projects I want to work on. I'll just show you them really quickly. This one's still in the hoop. So here is my black work. It's called Blackwork Square by Peppermint Purple. I'm doing it on this Ada, and I'm changing the colors on it. It's not gonna, and you can see it's kind of shiny. So I'd like to pull this out as part of Christmas in July. Then I also have Lavender and Lace Spirit of Christmas that I would like to pull out to work on in July as part of Christmas in July. So it's kind of wrinkly. It's this Santa, and I love it. I want to work on this later today if I can. Oh my goodness. The light situation is not ideal here, so I'm trying to show it where you can see it. That's the furthest I've gotten so far. I love it. It's beautiful. The blends in the reds are just, it's great. Can't wait to keep working on it. In addition to those 2, I will also probably work on the Winter Cardinals some more, and then I might start my Mill Hill bead kit that I forgot to bring over here of the little church, because I'd like to do something new, and I was finding myself looking online at like other little hobbies to do as just like a break from cross stitch, and I don't need another hobby. I could try one of those bead kits, and I can try beading for the first time. So if I get desperate to start something, it will probably be that one. So those are my plans for July. Hopefully I get a lot more stitching done than May and June, and my new routine will help with that. Okay, so let's do the giveaway. This month for the giveaway, I'm going to give away a piece of Aida. It is a 16 count Aida. It's Dying for Cross Stitch by Kathy Davidson. The size is 16 by 26, and there's no color on this tag. This is one of my thrift store finds. So happy to share it with you guys. This is how big it is. And I don't know what the camera's picking up there, but it's mostly just purple. There's maybe the lighter colors have a bit of a blue hue, but there's nothing. It doesn't have multiple colors in it. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know what it's picking up, but it's purple. It's purple with maybe some. This side maybe has a little bit more blue to it, but it's still overwhelmingly purple. And it doesn't have a name on it. But this is Jewel by Picture This Plus, and you can see the saturation difference here. And because I have so much of this, I'm happy to share this other purple one with you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna give this away. If you would like to enter to win this piece of Aida, please leave a comment about, maybe leave a comment about what you would typically do in July. For us, July is typically going to the pool and grilling out. I mean, back in Kansas, my husband and I don't have a typical July routine yet. We've been married for 5 years, but we still don't have a July routine. But we spend a lot of time hiking and camping. I do a lot of gardening, so right now my vegetables are growing. I'm growing vegetables for the first time. I'm doing them in containers, so I'm hoping that they produce fruit before we move, so that I don't have to move them. But anyway, tell me what you do in July on a typical year, what you enjoy about July, why is July a great month? Just tell me that in the comments, and you'll be entered to win this piece of Aida. And again, there's the card for that. Okay, so that is it for cross stitching. Thank you guys for joining me, if that's all you wanted to hear about. I'm hoping to be back in another month. We'll see. It depends on where things are at. I don't like having to gather 2 months of things to see what I've worked on. So I'd like to come back in a few weeks if I can, just for my own sanity, not having to figure out what I worked on when and all of that. So if you'd like to stick around, I am going to show you my planner now. So this is my planner. It's called the Get to Work book, and it's amazing. I'm not gonna do a full flip through or show you every detail. If you go to their website, which I will post below in the comments, the maker of this has a couple videos showing you the features and also how she uses it day to day. And I think she says this in the video, but basically the maker of this book was tired of trying to find a planner that would work for exactly what she needed. And so she just made her own. And over the years, she's listened to feedback and made changes to it. So now it's a great planner. It's heavy. It's a tabletop or desktop planner. It's really not very portable, which is part of why I stopped using it when I was going to the office. It was just heavy to lug around. But if you're at home, it's a really great planner to use. This is really hard-sided. You can write on it without it being flimsy at all, and it opens all the way around, so every page you can write on it pretty well. This is sort of the concept behind, oh gosh, it says big things happen one day at a time. And it's kind of it's not just a day planner, it's also sort of a goal setting planner, but it's very basic. There's not a lot of decor on it. It's really kind of a blank slate. So here's what the calendar spread looks like. This planner that I purchased goes from July to July, which I love. I really dislike moving my planner over the Christmas holiday. I feel like I start the first week of January having no idea who I am or what I'm doing, just because of the holiday. So I like switching them over in the middle of the summer. And it makes more sense if you've got kids or you're in school or you're a teacher. I think it makes more sense to have a July to July calendar for that. So I started filling this out, so I'm gonna jump ahead real quick. This is what the weekly spread looks like. And you can see it's just really subtle light gray tones, and otherwise it's pretty blank. I write the time of day down the side on both sides, just so that I have some reference if I have some kind of appointment or phone call or whatever. But otherwise it's pretty flexible. If you're into like journal decorating or stickers or whatever, the stickers that they come up with for some of the more popular planners will fit in here. Some of them, if you buy like a full spread, you'll have to trim, but for the most part, the stickers fit in here if you want to decorate your planner. And I think this provides a really great way to do that because it's just such a blank slate. And she's got the things like these action items over here. Basically, you make a list of what you want to accomplish this week, and then after you fill out your plans, you take one of these and you say, well, I have time Wednesday to do that, so I'm going to do it Wednesday afternoon. And then you just slowly start getting through your long list of things that you have to do. So this is really a planner for people who make lists to help you go from a list to a list of priorities. And then you can start finishing the top priorities first. And soon you'll find that your list is getting done. And if you're a list person like me, you'll know that that list never ends. So being able to see progress as you're adding new things, I think is really, really helpful. And it helped me get into a better routine and just be more productive. Another feature of this planner are these reflect and goal set pages where you reflect on what you accomplished last month, what you still need to work on. And one thing I really like is this block here that says to let go of. So these are things that, I mean, you use this however you want, but for me, these are things that didn't work out, or I didn't finish them and now it's too late. So being able to write it down saying I'm letting this go has been really helpful for me. I also use it on like a more personal note. If there's something that's been on my mind or bothering me or weighing on me and I've given it enough mental energy, sometimes I'll write it here and just try to get it out of my brain, just move on from that. And it's funny, this is a word art page that she has on every month, and it's really thick. It's like thick cardstock, so you can rip it out and you can use it, and they're all different things. So like this one says onward. The one I have, I pull them out and keep them near my desk. One second. The one that I have right now is good things take time. Yeah, just something to think about day to day, and I'll probably trade this out eventually. This actually is not from the book. It was an insert in my order, but there is a card that says this in the planner. So anyway, like I said, I'll link it below, but if you're looking for a planner or you want to try something new, I highly recommend this book. It's flexible. It's all about prioritizing and goal setting without being overwhelming. It's not like a writing exercise or a creative journaling exercise. It's a planner, and it's just it's good. You can get as fancy as you want, or you can just have it be real rough and dirty pencil scribbles, whatever. It has a lot of flexibility in it. I also will say that if you're not sure about this book, she usually has last year's planners on clearance. So like the planner that started in January 2020 is half done. So if she has any of those left printed, she'll typically put those on clearance. So if you want to try it for half the year before you commit to a new planner, she has clearance planners on her website. So yeah. That is all I have for today. Hopefully I can edit this. If not, I don't think that there were any major interruptions, so I can just upload it without editing this time, and that way you guys will get an update even if I can't insert pictures. So anyway, I hope everybody is having a great weekend, a great summer, or I guess winter if you guys are watching from the southern hemisphere. And I'm looking forward to stitching more and giving you guys another update, hopefully one that is calm and organized and not crazy. If I'm in a situation where it's stressful, I'm just not going to record one, and that's a lesson I learned last month. So thank you guys for coming back, and yeah, happy stitching. Bye.